Jumbo, fellow adventurers, great to have you here on a Sunday for another spiritual tune-up. I have brought with me one of my finest minds and greatest helpers and most fabulous love of my life, Rebecca. Oh, tell everybody, Rebecca Solocito. And I thought what we might do today is talk about parenting 101. During lockdown and a pandemic. And let me preface this by saying this is my only experience. I'm 6 years into the job. I don't know all things.
But you're not even 6 years old.
I'm not even 6 years old. But I've learned a few things. So hopefully the 7 tips I have to share with you will hit a nerve and in a good way and have meaning and perhaps the things that Rebecca has to share will do the same. Okay, so you don't have to do 7.
I'm not going to do that, but
what would you like? So what's it been like under lockdown for you? What's it like from a kid's perspective? Is it good, bad, or what?
Good, like it, but not my school videos that much.
You don't like school videos? She's doing remote learning right now. What's the best thing about lockdown?
I get to have movie nights.
Movie nights, okay. And what movie do you like? The Grinch Stole Christmas, year round. And what games do you like to play? Chase? Chase. Do you like to cook?
Yes, I love cooking. My favorite so much.
Please talk slower. Do you like climbing trees?
I love it.
You love it. What do you like about trees?
I get to climb them.
You get to climb them. And how about dancing?
I love dancing.
You love dancing. Great. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
I am a great dancer. I am a great dancer. Oh yeah. I am a great dancer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thanks for your indulgence, everybody.
Oh yeah. I'm a great dancer.
And she has very high self-esteem. I can tell you that. I tell her she's beautiful. She says, I know. So, okay, so what can I share that might be of service? A great dear friend of mine, David Wood, said kids all want one thing. Hold on, I can't do that right now. And that one thing is a 4-letter word. And it's not the word you're thinking of, love. It's not. Time. And it has been a blessing for me, as privileged as we are here, to share this time with my daughter, which is much more time than I normally share. Even though I'm in my home office here, 8-9 hours a day minimum. There's lunch together, breaks together, no commute time, so I'm ready to go at 5 o'clock. And that time thing is so crucial. I do have the benefit of having an amazing wife, and she does the part-time, and I think that that's really critical, that you be able to have some time off for yourself. She's reading. She's a very good reader. Okay, you can read silently. But what's important, though, whether you have a partner or not, at this age, I'm able to tell her, look, I can't be with you right now. Read a book right now. Go practice your dance lessons right now. Go do something else, maybe with mommy or maybe mommy's shopping. And I have found that it is highly achievable. If she understands that there's her time and my time, these are wise mini human beings and they totally get it. And so if you have that routine, routine is everything with kids, where you have your space, it'll save the day. So time, tag team or create the space out of my 7 lessons here for you. Number 3, ask or notice what they most like to do. And go there. Let it be silly. Let it be the same movie 14 nights in a row. Let it be, the make-believe game or the chase through the house, or, I make a concerted effort to be in alignment when I'm having time with her, to do what she wants to do, not so much what I think she ought to do, or nor do I try to push her on to the next thing when she's still very, very happy watching The Grinch in April. Okay? Then number 4, I think all kids universally love to be a helper. So make them your assistant, make them your helper in the things that they love doing. She loves to cook. I don't. Mommy does. So my wife makes that time occasionally for there to be an assistant in the kitchen. And when you ask them to be a helper, don't kid yourself thinking that it's going to be really effective. Okay, it's going to make you go a lot slower. And that's okay, because it's for them, not so much to get the job done. Whether it's cleaning or picking up around the house or watering the plants, you probably do all the work yourself. But if they're wearing the helper hat, it takes their whole game up a whole nother level in self-esteem and pride and joy. And it's let them be a helper. Number 5.
I read the whole book.
You read the whole book already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Number 5. This is not easy for a lot of parents in my experience. Respect. These are ancient spiritual gladiators, perhaps in soul terms, soul age, maybe far wiser than you, but just briefly, encased in this little body, and we call them children, they have silly ideas. But respecting their opinion, respecting that they want to tell you something that you already know, that they've already told you 42 times, respect that space that you share with them so that they can be a full player, and you are not, therefore, this is a sub-point that I really wanted to get, you're not the police. Don't always be wearing the hat of parent. Wear the hat of playmate. Observe, listen, be a dodo, be done, be a learner. Don't be police officer parent, okay? Because then you're always going to be barking out instructions and do this and you didn't do that and pick this up and pick the other up. I would also say, as a subpoint here under respect, I'll never forget when I had to learn to make my bed, probably about her age. Oh, my photographer. She takes amazing pictures.
Of course it's true.
Of course it's true. High self-esteem here. My mom would be like, well, go make your bed now. You know, I had learned how to do it. I'd been doing it a couple of months. But I would notice that it would take me, 10 minutes, and it would take my mom, 30 seconds. And I've always carried that through I've carried it my whole life. But I've applied it with my daughter. Realize that they are far less coordinated, far less nimble, far less experienced in this incarnation, in this little body of theirs, with their little tiny muscles. And it's your idea of a simple task is monumental for them. Your ability to remember to pick up after yourself, has come with decades and decades of practice and stronger muscles and an awareness of the importance of doing those things. So she's learning to pick up after herself, and I have expectations along those lines. But, if she forgets here or there, I'm very happy to pick up her shoes or pick up a bow or pick up her brush.
Wait.
She finds that by blowing fog on the camera, it makes a mysterious image in the lens. She's very brilliant. So, cut some slack when it comes to chore time. Absolutely delegate. Absolutely let them do their part. But, you're not the police, and they have little tiny bodies and inexperienced minds, and that's okay. I have she doesn't hold her fork and knife properly most of the time. She's around us who do, and I know that when she gets older, she'll care about stuff like that. So I'm not like, hold it correctly and stop using your fingers to eat. Hey, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but these are my tips, and my daughter wanted to be in the podcast today, so I thought, what could I talk about? So let him be a kid. Don't be the police. Cut some slack. That's all under respect. Number 6, of course, maybe the most challenging, patience. I am challenged and she pushes my buttons. But if I can, when I give her time and I can turn off everything else I'm trying to remember to do, it's so much easier to have patience. Don't go into your shared time with your kid with your to-do list and be trying to monitor and remember and carry forward certain things and then be interrupted because you got to go and do an email. Not that I've ever done that, but I have found patience is really easy if I have created those spaces and I'm just like, I'm yours. I am just all yours and my stuff is not part of this. So patience can be easier with that little twist. And number 7, I remind myself of this all the time. Not that you don't, but relish this extremely brief and fleeting time in your life. I mean, my daughter's 6 years old and it happens so fast in a blink. And every parent, without exception, has said the same thing when they have kids that are 20, 30, 40 years old. It was like it just went by in an absolute blink. So when your buttons are being pressed and you're feeling that it's difficult, remember, this is so extremely temporary. They're going to be off and spreading their wings and doing their thing. And I've yet to meet a parent, and I often ask this question with older kids. Do you miss those years when your children were, children? And I've asked grandparents that. I mean, there is no point in an adult's life beyond the kids leaving the nest when they don't miss what many of us right now are so fortunate and blessed to have. And when you consider the fleeting nature of it all, it just makes it even that much more precious and that much more endearing every moment you spend with them. So there you go. Pretty much common sense stuff. I'm not obviously taught or educated in this realm except by my daughter. There we go. It's already 12 minutes. So I love you all. Thanks for letting me do this, creating the space for me as I create the space for you. I'm going to go, play horsey right now or something fun and chase her around the house. Have an amazing week ahead of you. Remember, these are incredibly exciting times. However pinched you might be, however scared you might be, this is the beginning of an immense healing on planet Earth. And as we realign our priorities and perhaps some of these lessons apply beyond parenting, patience, respect of others, God behind their eyes, we will all emerge from this more amazing than we entered it. Oh, here's the star of the show. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Would you like to take their picture? Pronto, pronto. Thank you for your indulgence. They look like us, don't they? Mm-hmm. Did you take it? Yeah. Just to zoom in. I think that's good. Cheese. All right. Oh, yeah, look how good you look. Okay, adios.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.